And he will be unveiling an energy initiative at the summit. And the coordinating minister of the economy has also talked about the electricity sector being open for investors. And that's why we're focusing on that sector today. We've been speaking with the managing director, Coleman Wires and Cables, George Onafowokan. He's joining us live, or he's joining us live in the studio. Just before that break, I said, I put you on hold and I said, when we return, you will tell us the reality of things. So continue from there and then we'll talk about solutions.
The reality of things is that the investment needs to be massive. We are not going to shy away from it. And I think the government has realized that they can't shy away from it. We immediately we're removing some certain subsidies. We're literally going to have to put in a massive investment into it. Secondly, I think the solutions also has to be complete deregulation of the power sector, which has actually started happening with moving to concurrently the power so that states can literally distribute. But thirdly, I think we need to still come back to industrialization of that sector, which means from the cables being made in Nigeria to the ports being made in Nigeria, the poles, even the transformers needs to be localized. The more we can localize the solution, the better we actually can improve the efficiency of this power and the distribution.
Interesting you mentioned transformers, because I remember at some point people were comparing, I think it was meters being made here and those being imported, and people were talking about how the meters being made here were substandard. And then we've also, had concerns about manufacturers of electricity equipment who have issues of substandard products as well. How can this be rectified?
I think it's a misconception. Now, the reality is, anybody that says meters being made in Nigeria are not, these manufacturers are part of man. I would totally disagree with that, because I know quite a few of the meters manufacturers, and I've been to their factories. Now, what you might say is that the amount of depth of manufacturing that goes into it might not be as far as we want, but it takes time, and they're doing better. Now, the question, I think the other part of it is that anything made in Nigeria is going to be more expensive, because if you look at the cost of actually manufacturing, the import on some of the materials, the duty on some of this material, you're going to have an added cost. That is also a problem for most people. Now, but when we actually take out those issues, the quality of what is being made today, when you look at it, we're in an industry, I'm in cable, where every Nigerian will tell you, go and buy a made in Nigeria before anything else. Nobody will tell you, go and put any cable that is not made in Nigeria in his house or our house. Now, you have to get that into other industry. But perception, we need to take the perception of by actually getting, if you look at the number of meters we've been using, I have a meter in my house, it's made in Nigeria. The meters on the transformers I know are all made in Nigeria now, especially in the last 5 years. The question is, how do we get people to actually get to use them more? The biggest problem when you meet some of the discos or the transformer users is price. Now, the issue of transformers, we've had companies that are coming to Nigeria to